Okay, I'm back. I just listened to that video, and I know there's some static right around the 12-minute mark. I'm not sure what's causing that, so I apologize for that. But it seems to be okay now. A couple of things I forgot. I want to go back and point out that I have dark mode enabled. You might have noticed that right off the bat. And if here I am in Firefox. If you hit Shift Control A, you can get to your themes. And if I switch over to light mode, you can see that it looks just fine there too. Although I don't really like the fact that this is the same color as the box here, so I'm going to adjust that, but that's a real easy adjustment. But I do like dark mode, so I'm going to just go back to dark mode. A lot easier on my eyes. And not all websites support dark mode, so when I design a web app, I always support dark mode. Laravel makes it pretty easy because once you have Tailwind installed, which by the way, Tailwind CSS gets installed when you install Breeze, and Breeze is the login manager, the authentication manager. It gives you the login dialog box and the profile. And let me just do one other thing. Under here you have profile thing. I didn't make any of this. This was created when you install Breeze, so you probably already know that. Anyway, getting back to here, if I go back over here to look at some of my views. And actually, my app CSS is another thing that comes into play, because when you create these views, a lot of times they have, the original welcome blade you get. This is all Tailwind CSS. This kind of stuff here, where you just tell it basically what you want. But it gets a little busy for my taste. So what I do in my blades, like for example, here's the index blade for the flavors. So what I do is I replace it with some class names. So up here, this one, for example, means padding top 4. And then what I did was, this one was really long, so I just called it main level 1, main level 2, main level 3. So those are sort of some container divs to contain that table. And then I come over here and I apply main level 1, main level 2. That definitely helps me separate the concerns, because it does get quite busy, especially if you're writing stuff like this, all of this stuff. I mean, this one's really long. It's if it gets really long and there's 2 lines, you can't break the line in this particular setup, so you just hit the apply function twice. But without that, I would have all of this text put into the button tab. So if I come back over here to the I guess I closed it, to the index and find the button that I wanted to work with. See, so down here, all I have to do is tell it it's a button, it's a BTN. And then the app CSS, I keep letting that close because I'm not double clicking. Where'd you go? Okay, so this right here applies all of that to it. So rather than writing all that out for every button in your application, it definitely makes it a little better to apply the Tailwind CSS over here. Now, where the dark mode comes in is everywhere you see a color, like for example here on this min level 1, you got text gray 900. So that's, if it's not in dark mode, that's what the text will be. But as soon as it goes into dark mode, you want a lighter text. So you tell it, I want text gray 100. And you do that all over the place. Here's a background, regular background gray 200, but when it goes dark, I want the background gray to be 800. And of course, if I were working with a client, when Sweetberries actually is one of those clients that has their own color scheme, so I'll eventually get their color scheme and incorporate that into here instead of all these grays. But for now, the grays look just fine in my mind. The only one that doesn't look good, as I pointed out, is if I go back to light mode, I need to adjust that one. So it looks kind of bad, if you ask me. Come over here, see, this doesn't look good. So I'll fix that. Plus, you can't really see the borders on the table, so I'll fix that as well. Okay, that's minor stuff. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video right now, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to add a feature and then demonstrate that I know how to use Git to push the code from my local development environment to my GitHub account, and then use SSH to log into my server and do a git pull. So I can add a feature and then push it to the GitHub account and then pull it. Now, Git is a great tool for working with teams, but I've only used it as a solo developer. So I'd be very excited about becoming a part of a team where we use Git to check out branches and share code and work on different parts of the backlog independently. I also would be very interested in working with a pair programmer. In a way, I use AI as a pair programmer because I use Chat GPT a lot of time to ask questions when I get stuck on something. And usually it gives me the right answer, although there have been some times when it does not give me the right answer. It kind of sends me down a bad path. But about 90% of the time, it gives me the right answer and clears up my questions and even helps me clean up the code a little bit. So let me pause the video and I'll prepare for that. And that'll be my final video that I send you.